Bad news, guys. The FCC and the Telephone Consumer Protection Act has just made a big change on February 8th, which is making a certain form of artificial intelligence completely illegal as of February 8th. So we're going back. It is illegal right now if you're doing this to generate your appointments and or leads. So I'm going to get into it here in a minute. First, I'm going to ask that you please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're a new viewer. We're putting out new insurance sales content and final expense sales training videos like pretty much every week. And if you'd like a copy of the new agent telesales super file, stick around to the end of the video. This is totally free. It's got some really awesome sales material for those of you who are completely selling currently either final expense over the phone or life insurance products over the phone. Okay guys, with all that behind us, I am gonna pull up this FCC newsletter that was sent out to the media. We're gonna read it right off here. We're gonna pull it up for you guys too. Washington, February 8th, 2024. Today, the FCC announced the unanimous adoption of a declaratory ruling that recognized calls made with AI-generated voices are artificial under the Telephone Consumer Protection Act. This is the act that protects people from getting harassed from robocalls and telemarketers. The ruling, which takes effect immediately, makes voice cloning technology used in common robocall scams targeting consumers illegal. This would give state attorney generals across the country new tools to go after bad actors behind these nefarious robocalls. Now, let's get into the second paragraph because this is very important too. Bad actors are using AI-generated voices in unsolicited robocalls to extort vulnerable family members, imitate celebrities, and misinform voters. We're putting the fraudsters behind the robocalls on notice, said the FCC chairwoman Jessica Rosenworcel. The state attorney generals will now have new tools to crack down on these scams and ensure the public is protected from fraud and misinformation. Okay, so I don't know if you guys have been watching the news, but in New Hampshire, this was all over the news. In New Hampshire, somebody used let's just say a politician's voice to call people, to robocall, basically artificial intelligence, to call folks and tell them, don't forget to get to the polls on this date. They were misinforming them on purpose. So they actually used this artificial intelligence to basically confuse voters. That's what that did. So at the end of the day, the bottom line is this. What does this mean to you, the agent? Here's the crazy part. I recently was on Facebook. There are these companies that sell artificial intelligence-based advertising systems, kind of like the one that we use for our agents. And what they do is they're using the artificial intelligence to call the leads and set the appointments. You can disagree with me. You can say, oh no, this is because of scams. Insurance isn't a scam. At the end of the day, you cannot use artificial intelligence to either cold call people or to call leads, period. No more using these systems to set appointments. And again, the crazy part is these companies don't care. They're still selling the systems. They're not the ones that are going to be in trouble. You're the one that's going to get in trouble. You're the one who's, if you get caught, you're going to get fined. You get caught multiple times. Basically, at the end of the day, you could inadvertently lose your insurance license. Now, if you don't agree with me, let's go back to the exact words on the news release from the FCC. The Telephone Consumer Protection Act is the primary law the FCC uses to help limit junk calls. It restricts the making of telemarketing calls and the use of automatic telephone dialing systems and artificial or pre-recorded voice messages. Under FCC rules, it also requires telemarketers to obtain prior express written consent from consumers before robocalling them or using artificial intelligence to call them. This declaratory ruling ensures AI-generated voices in calls are also held to those same standards. So at the end of the day, this paragraph, it says it. This is all about keeping people from being harassed, from being called to the point to where it makes them crazy. That's what this is all about. Let me just read this one part to you. Again, under FCC rules, it also requires telemarketers to obtain prior express written consent from the consumers. Okay, so here's what that means. You can use the AI to call your leads, but there has to be a checkbox, and it's got to be very clear on the same page. It can't be something like check a box and then read page 2 what this is about. It can't be like that. They check the box, and it's got to be very clear that by checking this box, I am allowing artificial intelligence to call me, or robocalls or robocalls to call me. So the box has to be checked. Now, anybody who's been in the business long enough knows that just kills the lead. Now your lead cost is going to go through the roof. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't work. You're better off just putting your leads into a dialer and calling them, or working with a company like me that actually has an appointment system that is compliant. You know, at the end of the day, our clients are actually filling out the lead form, and then we ask them, once they see your photo, the agent's photo, they can either hit the dial now button, they're gonna see the phone number, they can even pick up the phone and just make a regular call, or they set an appointment. And that's what our system does. It pushes around half of those people to actually set an appointment. And that's what separates my agency, United Final Expense Services, from all of our competitors. Hopefully you guys got something out of this video. If you'd like a copy of that free new agent telesales super file, just email me at doug@ufesonline.com. If you'd like more information on working with us on our remote final expense telesales platform, the one where we can guarantee that you'll get 20 to 30 appointments every single day of people expecting your call, just shoot me an email at that same address. As always, when you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will usually fall right into place. Now get out there, or get on that headset, or just pick up the phone. At the end of the day, whatever you do, just make sure that you do something really good for someone else today. Happy hunting.